sandals and shorts, and surf and scuba and sand and sailing and soccer. San Diego, California.
Season's greetings and welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 235 on a Monday. Somebody made that comment actually. They asked me for the number and they're like, oh boy, an SDFC worker actually. And I was like, yeah, that's how long. Season's greetings on a Monday here from the studio. 235 weeks in a row. We got some news. San Diego Football was doing some coverage of San Diego Wave losing 2-0 contra las Águilas del América at Snapdragon. We're going to get into it. Abe has some interesting words to describe this in his article that came out recapping that match. So we're going to talk to the one and great, powerful Abraham Cepeda in that same venue. Manchester United will play Real Betis this Wednesday.
Yeah.
After
It's already been a year since the last Man U game.
It was, yeah. So we'll talk about some of the things that Man U has around town, along with in partnership with some of the teams here in San Diego already. We're also going to touch on the Olympics. Representatives from San Diego, not the team, but the city.
Yeah, there is. And I mean, even from San Diego Wave too, representing all over in soccer. But it's been a pretty fun week, sports-wise. A little slow, but pretty fun.
A little slow, but it's all good. We're here, 235 weeks in a row. Thank you for joining us. Season's greetings. We'll get some Olympic talks, greats, gaffes, and goals, gaffes, and greats.
Yeah.
I'm sunburned as fuck.
You are? What'd you do this weekend? Out and about? Comic-Con?
Preloaded Comic-Con.
Nice.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's literally how you do it. Comic-Con is just a giant swap meet.
Yes.
People pay like to go to the swap meet and trade and buy stuff. And season's greetings to everybody in the chat who's joining us. As you know, still right now, one team in San Diego, name of the game, San Diego Wave. They own Snapdragon.
Mm-hmm.
They don't own it. That's the part of it. They don't own it.
America owns it.
Yeah. Is that two America victories?
Club America.
Did they beat Cholos?
They did beat Cholos.
Okay, so that's two America victories.
Mm-hmm.
America lost against Panama, the U.S. of A. We're gonna get to some Olympic talk. I was watching some of the Olympics actually, and just some of the talks of Shannon McMillan, just kind of putting myself in her shoes and going through what the players, the athletes, through the ceremonies, went through and go through. People work their entire lives. My favorite seeing a country, cuando hay un vato, which is one person. I'm like, not that person. I saw this guy actually from Tonga, is like 200th ranked FIFA, and he has like a 1.5K followers on Instagram, and everything now is somebody's trying to be a TikToker. I saw a guy who has a TikTok on Instagram. It's because that's how I watch things. I'm a grandpa. I watch my TikTok through Instagram. It's just like, oh, this is how I changed the soda machine at work, and it gives you detail, like the chef guy that we like, like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that type of content, and he's like, today's day one of me trying to go ahead to play for my country Tonga. I sold everything in the United States. I'm from Utah, and I'm trying to make it so I could play in the FIFA qualifiers. And I'm like, how is that any different about what we're doing?
That is true.
It really is, but it's really cool.
Just a different route, a little less physicality route. Ours.
I'm very look, and we'll get into soccer here. And there, Abe is chomping at the bit to talk from San Diego Wave, but just like as we make this descent into the World Cup, whatever the World Cup says for San Diego Football, for you and me, again, we were talking about this earlier before the cameras rolled. You fucking hate me, and that's okay. And that's very okay.
That's
and you're
true.
Tired of me.
That is not true whatsoever.
I appreciate that you've been able to put up with my high standards, honestly. that you're able to keep up. But no. Like it's cool seeing all these people who are making their way somehow to the World Cup in 2026. Us included. You heard Andrew Vasiliadis last week, who, by the way, still has some San Diego the Loyal Legacy books available. If you need a link, let me know. But other than that, cool runnings. Again, Olympics. That's Winter Olympics. We're going to talk San Diego Wave. With that, I think it's time that we bring on the trustworthy, the honorable. You know what? San Diego Punto Fútbol, we're working hard, but next level. We're going to bring on our writer, contributor, confidant, House of Dragons fan, Abe Cepeda. Whoa. Abe Cepeda with the
Canadian,
with the gimmick binoculars. I love it.
These are real binoculars. They're not gimmick.
Yeah, they are.
I
You actually inspired me. You
drone?
inspired me to get some.
Yeah,
No, like legitimately,
actually.
like
did actually.
Because I'm having a hard time.
Por si tú estás bien ciego.
They're cool.
If you don't know
I think
Tony
you
by
see
now,
a lot with these binoculars. There's a lot of stuff in the game that you're missing when you're in the press box at Snapdragon Stadium, so it's nice.
Got a Planet of the Apes poster with Este Internacional's starting 11 on the back by Coach Matty Papalatalk. But anyway, we're here to talk about San Diego Wave. San Diego Wave, the team that is coming back, has had a season. Honestly, they've had a season, as up, down, sideways as you may think may happen. I don't think a lot of people predicted this was going to be how San Diego Wave came into their biggest year, just in terms of what they had been doing, their ambitions. We were here sitting before, the three of us, talking about what do we want to see San Diego Wave do? Oh, win a championship. Don't win the supportership, just win a championship. That's the goal. That seems to be as far away as anything
it's been
else,
their worst season so far.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's very unfortunate, but you guys were both at this game. I wasn't there. Coming into this game, did it feel any different? It's a Friday game. Haven't been at Snapdragon in a while too. Did it feel any different, especially being a Summer Cup game against America? A lot of America fans in the stands.
Yeah, there were definitely a lot of America fans in the stand. I felt an excitement outside the stadium. There was definitely a lot more away jerseys than you ever see at Snapdragon. Like, America are obviously one of the biggest teams in Mexico, so you're going to have a lot of fans come in. But there was a palpable excitement around the stadium. The attendance itself, it wasn't too crazy. They didn't fill up the whole lower bowl. But I felt a little bit different than a normal regular season game. There was a different crowd there than one would normally get.
And it slipped my mind to ask. Just, it's good seeing people. People filling in for people, because literally people are filling in for people on the field. We'll get to that later. Yeah. But just the attendance, they didn't announce the attendance. I was looking for that. I don't know if you caught that number at any point, but yeah, it wasn't anything to write home about.
So whenever I think we all realized when they don't announce it, it wasn't a good number to announce.
Yeah, and even then, like, at the end of the day, this is kind of bang average as an attendance as you can possibly expect. Team isn't doing well. You fired a fan favorite.
Comic-Con. That's
like,
a big one.
That's huge.
Really a big one.
Try to get into public transportation. And these are the challenges that an SDFC will face, and they'll have to adjust and adapt. But like Comic-Con, nobody wants to get on the trolleys. Nobody wants to take that public transport. Nobody wants to pay $50 for parking. Yeah. That's just a reality of things. So if you want to get families out there, have deals. Like, I don't know, man. Like, that's something needs to be done. I hope,
especially about parking. Like, that's insane. And I mean, I'm sorry if that's something that San Diego State is imposing on them, but
I wish there was a Abe Cepeda variant where I can just say, hey, I'm going to send you just to investigate this and just like duplicate you times 20 different things. I'm like, I wonder how many thefts have happened on the premises for Snapdragon parking. For what they charge, that better be A1 premium security. And I hope nobody gets anything taken or took it from them. But I would hope that I can leave my car open with the keys in the ignition, and I expect $100 to be back $50 to be back in my seat. Anyways,
Yeah, I think parking itself is an issue around all stadiums. I mean, for the SoFi game with Mexico, I think it was like $100 in parking, which is insane. Like, this is a problem around our entire country. It really sucks. It's just like these sports teams, organizations just trying to extract as much money as possible from sports fans. But I mean, even a Padres game, I think if you try and go to a Padres game, it used to be like $15. Now it's probably like 40 at least.
you want to
Yeah.
know a stat,
That's
Abe,
something we take
with
for
that?
granted. Parking.
Yeah,
The amount of
parking.
money we've saved. Parking.
Talking about $15 games, right? I mean, you're a little younger than I am. The Padres,
A little bit.
2004 when you were 2,
Little
they
bit
had a
younger than that.
resurgence with a Matt Latos type, and just excellent players. But I remember being given Padres tickets because you couldn't get rid of them, and I sat right behind the dugout for years on free tickets because the Padres stunk. I've only watched my San Diego Padres out of hundreds of years win 5 times in my life in person. I've gone to hundreds of games. I have the ticket stubs. I've gone back.
That's crazy. And like 3
No,
or 4 of
3 or
those wins
4
were last season.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, 100%. Anyways, stadium talk.
Trade deadline.
San Diego Wave.
San Diego
Trade
Wave,
deadline.
yeah. Okay, let's talk about the game, the lineup, right? Messner on goal, debuted. Hillary Beal absent with a foot injury. Comes to find out in the press conference that she did break her foot, kicking the post after that celebration of the penalty save. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Kristen Westphal at the right back, Abidal Kemper, Sierra Angie starting at the center back, and then Kristen McNabb on the left back. You had Colaprico and McCaskill in the midfield. Elise Bennett, Doniak, and Sanchez on the top with Alex Morgan. What did you guys think of this lineup? Obviously, there was a lot of players missing. So what did you guys think of it?
I think that's the best with what they could do at the time. I think Sierra Angie kind of deserved the opportunity there, especially with Kennedy Wesley out. That's probably the lineup I would have put out there. Maya Jones, I think, has been good this season, but she's coming off from an injury, so I'm sure that's kind of more a precautionary thing. Hanna Lundqvist and Sofia Jakobsen just got back. I think they arrived like the day before the game, so they were at the game. They were watching from the stands, but we might see them on Thursday. But I think you might want to put them in the starting 11 next time around. But other than that, I think it's solid.
Yeah, it's as solid as you get. Going into it, you would have thought for sure Hillary Beal was a absolute shoe-in, at least a foot in. But I get to do those, Abe. Don't worry. I will wear that shield. I will do the dumb references just to make sure that your integrity is just not faltered in comparison. So you're already a shining wizard that we have here at San Diego Punto Football. So shining wizard of move, actually, in wrestling. Great move. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. So the game kicks off. I mean, obviously, Club America is one of the best teams in the Liga MX Femenil as well. For those of our listeners that are not in the loop of that, they're one of the toughest teams that you can face them along Tigres. But first half starts and it's kind of a little slow, but America was just high pressing. Do you guys feel like Wave were kind of prepared for the game plan? We talked to Coach Paul Bucco, about how do you prepare for a game like this? And he said, yeah, I'm kind of focused on this game first and then this, but yeah, I'm excited to play against a team from Mexico. But I mean, do you guys think Wave prepared enough for this game?
They might have prepared enough, but on the field, just completely outclassed, completely outplayed, outran, just complete speed, attack. It was crazy. Like, America provided a distinctly Mexican style of soccer that we've never seen at Snapdragon Stadium, and it was like fun to watch, honestly. Like, we haven't seen that from NWSL teams this year, and it was cool.
Yeah, and I think just overall, like, I like that there's a different take on soccer overall, from the front office to the post match to the game to the style to the chants to the fans to the everything. Like, it's fundamentally a different animal that you're dealing with altogether with Liga MX teams, just different from, honestly, the sterile nature of soccer here in the US, I feel. And that's just an overall just commentary where like, yeah, no, it's good to dirty it up, but if you're gonna do it and you're gonna make a profit out of it, good. At least, respect it enough to do it right. But in any case, this matchup, I mean, I think America being the representative to really put San Diego Wave and give perspective. I think if anything, this is a tournament where you're not going to go for the championship, the number one spot. I don't think you would hope so. There's still time to turn it around, but I think this is a good measuring stick to really show the state of Wave. This is a team that isn't doing well, hasn't been playing good, and then you put them up against some pretty elite, high pace, just electric offense that was cohesive. It was a team. America was a team. Era un equipo with people who you hope do their role well, a bunch of individuals, and that really came through overall. But I mean, Abe, the pace was insane from America. It was great.
Yeah, and I mean, you also got to remember, right? America's also playing their season. They had a game just today as well, coming from this game, and then they play again, I believe, on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, or Thursday. Friday. So, I mean, it's a lot of games. Yeah, sorry, it's a lot of games for this Liga MX. But I mean, showing out and coming to Snapdragon and just performing the way you did against a very poor Wave team. I mean, are we really surprised about this? I'm not.
I'm a little surprised with the Waves performance as a whole. I thought they would be more prepared for this kind of press. Like,
They didn't believe in us.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that happened because, again, in the post-match conference, talking to interim head coach Paul Buckle, I asked him, like, hey, this is another one of these performances that we've seen this entire season for San Diego Wave. No offense. There was a couple of chances, but then again, that's it. That's as far as it gets. There's a couple of chances, opportunities, some good saves, great just patience there shown by the America goalkeeper. But the last touch of the ball is the issue. It's been the issue. And that's where I put that question in the season overall. What was the decision to fire Casey Stoney for?
Yeah.
She couldn't get her team to score. The players that you got her couldn't get the team to score. Were you going to get Cascarino? I know from what's happening in the background, like that was a major target of Wave for a while. So a while being, I would hope, right, when Casey was still part of the team. So you were going to provide Casey with this excellent player. Hope that you're going to go ahead and have that pay its way in goals, but it's the same thing. And Paul was defensive about it. He's like, well, we just scored 3 the other day. I'm like, well, yeah, but
against a Bay FC team that started like 9 rookies.
you telling me you need to go play it back at Torero? Is that what you need to do every week? Like, really? I don't know. Like, I don't know in that regard, but I do know that there was a much superior team on that field.
And I mean, I don't know if the excuse of like lack of depth was used for San Diego Wave. I mean, you look at their bench and it's very slim, right? I mean, you had to hire a staff from the team to be on the bench as well, and we're gonna get into that. But
Great story.
Amazing story. But like, how do you not prepare for this? How do you not sign other players? How do you you have to know you're gonna have this many players out during the Olympics. Injuries are still going to happen. You need to better prepare for this stuff.
I agree. And I know that move in particular had to do with another player not being able to be signed. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that was a non-factor in the match.
You're a professional soccer team, though. You need to better prepare for this stuff. If something doesn't go through, okay, you better have a backup plan B, plan C, plan D to make sure something happens to avoid stuff like this.
And what's really interesting, too, though, is that Messner, right, came in and did a great job in there. Great
best player of the game. It was crazy.
100%. And it was a shame that the result ended as it did. But that's one of those things where their first interaction with the ball was a little shaky, and we all kind of looked at each other and we're like, okay, we get it. Let's kind of understand this may go one way, but after that, solid. That being one of the highlights of the night. But you can't put Kaylin Sheridan could have been there. and it would have been the same, if not similar, result.
I mean, if your third goalkeeper is shining like this, it's just the lack of your defense. Your backline is just letting so much stuff go through that a goalkeeper, regardless, is going to make saves.
Yeah.
Whether it's a very poor goalkeeper, a great goalkeeper, or a good goalkeeper, some of the shots a goalkeeper is going to stop, and that's just point blank.
But even then, she was playing really well.
100%,
Like she was
100%.
doing really, really well.
Yeah, I think this game looks completely different if Naomi Girma is playing instead
Yeah.
of either Angie or Dahlkemper, because she just solidifies that backline so well and is able to handle high presses and pressure like this. Like we've seen her do it against Sophia Smith, Trinity Rodman, so many other players. So when you have players that are a little bit slower, a little bit less confident on the ball, and being able to play and build from the back, it makes the whole thing kind of fall apart because you're a defensive team.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I want to put this out there, and Abe, you keep telling me, oh, you retired her early, but at what point does Wave move on from Abby Dahlkemper? Because her decision making, just everything that we've seen this season. Yeah, no, I mean, yes, Esteban also mentioned it, but I agree with him. Just the decision making, everything is just very poor from Dahlkemper, and at one point, you kind of have to start putting blame on her. She's your captain.
Well, okay.
I don't see a captain in her.
Well, look, to Abe's point, right? This is how much and how well Girma plays. How much she really covers up for those holes and things that you don't even put past, right? Now you look at the performances of San Diego Wave that are ties or just, lost by one or whatever. Just that could have been worse if not for Girma. And just having her there is a presence. And now thinking, would Jaden Shaw's involvement changed anything in this match? No. If Shaw and Girma were here, this would be a 1-0. Maybe a 0-0. Because offensively, I don't think anything gets done. I don't think anything gets done with a complete team.
Alex Morgan's a ghost in the field.
This was a really good team. And that's the reality of it. They played against America, a set piece done very well. Poor marking, poor defending.
I mean, to be fair, this wasn't Lee's fault. The marking was there. The player just run passes there, and she just kind of stands there.
Yeah, but again, it's a well-executed play. Like, there was no defensive tactic to combat anything, I feel. They were just waiting for something to happen in the box, and we'll try to defend as best as we can. No, you're going up against a legitimate play, a designed run, a set piece. And you know what? This happens against every team, every match. But I don't think I'm surprised. That's the thing. I'm not surprised at all from what we saw there on Friday. And I hope it's, I don't know, some kind of wake-up call again. This another chance or a couple of chances there towards the end of the match.
Ascanio almost put one back.
Ascanio, Melanie Barcenas came in again, injected some energy into it. I know, Abe, you want to see more Barcenas. What else is this team needing? Can they do anything with the pieces that they have at this point, pending Cascarino coming over from France and Lyon? Anything that this team can do currently to change this?
Honestly, no. I think waiting for Carusa and Cascarino to come back will change things a lot. But like for this next game against Angel City, I think it's fair to expect the same thing that we saw in this kind of match. Just Angel City has been playing their rookies and their young players, all their under 17s and all that, but if the Wave can't score, then we just can't expect them to score.
It's not pretty at all. Like,
it's not a good time out there. It really isn't, and it's reflective in a lot of aspects. And as a whole, I think leagues, this tournament, summer tournament's been fun. It's been interesting. You get to see different styles. You get to see a Liga MX side get absolutely trashed in Portland, and then have a bounce back game. And so I like these dynamics that are happening. It seems like. And again, just who said it here earlier? Just kind of like Liga MX.
No,
but Liga MX got more comfortable and bounced back in a big way in the second round. 100%.
They sure did.
They're taking this seriously, I feel.
I mean, Chivas ended up beating Chicago. You have Monterrey putting up a fight against Orlando Pride and going to penalties, falling short in penalties. Pachuca is just Pachuca, but Cholas coming back and winning 3-2.
Cholos,
that's Cholas. Tigres kind of like just still falling short against Houston. But I mean, a lot of these Mexican league teams they're definitely putting up a fight and trying to say, okay, well, we kind of slacked week 1. Let's do better, put solid lineups on there, and just perform a lot better. And you kind of saw it. So I'm excited to see what match day 3 looks like for the Summer Cup.
Yeah, for sure. I expect America to beat Bay FC. I think it's going to be hard for the Wave to get out of the group. Like, there's still technically a chance. I
Yeah.
think, like, technically Monterrey, Pachuca, Chicago, and Bay FC are all like eliminated right now. But there's still 16 teams fighting for 4 spots. So we never know this last group. And it's going to be weird tiebreakers and stuff. So if the Wave are going to want to win, they're going to have to do it by like at least a 4-goal differential or something. So
Do we even want to hear from Paul Buckle? I mean, like, look.
Was it anything different?
No.
So it's the same. So it's
No.
you know, if we keep playing this way, the results are gonna come in, and it's just your generic head coach when your team sucks speech. We heard it with Landon Donovan when Sandy Oloy was absolutely trash. Like, we would hear it all the time. We hear it now from Bucko. At least Casey Stoney gave some more honest answers.
What's the guy to do? What's he supposed to do? Like, it's an impossible situation. I don't care
It
who
is.
you were after Casey Stoney. Like, it's an impossible situation to come in and to be, you know, you're not prepared going into it, right? Like, this is where, like, that decision it just puzzles me. You had a coach who not only planned to put this team together that you put together for them to roll out and have lineups, tactics, fitness levels of players in mind, with the mentality that they have Summer Cup, Olympics, NWSL. Like, a coach knows that these things are coming up, so you have to measure everything. Paul Buckle's coming into it, and he got thrown into a situation where last week he was having tea with Rebecca Lowe, his wife, and was like, oh, tomorrow, guess what, honey? I'm going to go ahead and, you know, be in a team that's going to travel to Panama coming up soon and be involved in all these matches. And, you know, I hope he's getting paid well. I
hope so.
I'm good. Hope so. But this international search is global. Was it, Abe?
I think it's
global.
it's always a global search.
Global search
At what
for the next head
point
coach.
do you guys think they should be announcing a head coach?
I think that either at the end of the season or to start next year.
I'm sorry, because the way Wave are still
Yeah.
playing, I mean,
Yeah.
as of now, I wouldn't keep Bucko as the official head coach.
No.
Like,
I like look.
Yeah.
Thank you for playing. It's like sometimes you watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and then you have the guys who are a 2-episode. This is a very old reference, Abe. Who are like, man, this guy's gonna make it all the way. Each question is taking 20 minutes of show. But then there's the people who come in who like lose in the first 3 questions. You're like, it's the fodder, like, type of thing. Like, that's how the situation is. Just like, all right, this is just a waiting game at this point. But the fans have to suffer, the players have to suffer. It's been a tough season for San Diego Wave. I like your wording, just outclassed. Like, that's a very good way to put it. And we'll see. It's a matter of, will San Diego Wave be able to bounce back, step up? That's why you hope that, you know, you have Alex Morgan, you have Abby Dalkemper, you have this experience, you have this talent.
I think Wave really need a big rebuild.
Remember when the U.S. couldn't score in the last World Cup? I wonder if there's a common denominator.
Yeah, because you have Alex Morgan up there.
It's a point where I don't know what the conversation has to be. I don't know if it's a matter of changing positions, because that's the thing. You see Alex Morgan playing, and you saw it in the last World Cup. She's a good playmaker. She has the vision. She has what it takes to be an influencer and a game changer on the field, but not in the way that she's trying to. And I don't even know if she's trying to anymore. She got figured out, but
I don't know. I don't think she has it in her anymore. I don't think she's the player that Wave need to rely on. And I mean, I'm sorry, if it's your time to hang up the boots, you should. I'm sorry. And I'm going to say this about like any player that's still trying to, you know, make an impact in a team and that's on the older side of the age. Like, look at Chicharito with Chivas, like, god awful, like, can't do anything. It's just awful. And I'm gonna be completely honest with that, right? Same thing with Alex Morgan here at San Diego Wave. Is hasn't been good. She's just not the
Hey,
best player
I see
anymore.
that you have some thoughts on this.
I don't know. Maybe it's just different, but I mean, we've seen it in women's soccer. Martha has had her dips in form at
Yeah.
times, and then even in Orlando, people were questioning Alex Morgan's form at the time, and then she came to San Diego and turned it completely around, became an MVP, Ballon d'Or like finalist. Like I think that's still in her. I think it's just partially a little bit of the way the Wave play. Like maybe it's just she's figured out she needs to play differently, but this is Alex Morgan, one of the top U.S. players ever, one of the top NWSL goal scorers ever. Like, I think she deserves the respect of at least being able to finish through this next season too, because like forwards especially, I think can play longer into their careers.
Is
And
this the answer, Abe? Can a player like this influence and unlock that what you're saying? This different gear or version of Morgan?
yes, I think so. I think when you pair two players together, especially if they build chemistry and able to move well at the top of the pitch, then yes, I think so. I think Taylor Korniak, now Taylor Flint at the time, was kind of that pairing for Alex Morgan in that first season where she was able to just get her the ball and do great things. I think last year it was a little bit Jaden Shaw paired really well with Alex Morgan. So now if you bring a new player, this could be the opportunity, but I really think that Alex Morgan deserves the grace to finish out and be able to prove that you can still score. Because I mean, Christine Sinclair
Yeah.
is older than her too.
Yeah.
She's still performing.
And she's scoring goals though.
Now she is.
Yeah,
But no, it's a really good point, Abe, because like it's different, right? You talk about different positions on the field, right? A goalkeeper's prime is when most players are retiring, and it's just a different outlook altogether, right? The longevity in the athletes on the women's side is much longer, and that's due, and they're performing just at as high standards and just pushing the limits of what a human being can do on a soccer field. And at the end of the day, sure, there is dips in form, but currently it's not good.
how
And
much
that's
of it do you think is the Gold Cup? I honestly think the Gold Cup might have like drained some players, caused certain injuries. I mean, Jaden Shaw is out with an injury right now.
Mhm.
She was critical in that U.S. Women's National Team Gold Cup run. Alex Morgan too, scoring plenty of goals for the U.S. there. Like, do you think starting that season early might have had an impact on her?
I mean, she had to do that though, because she wanted to go to the Olympics, and what better way than to be a great player in the Gold Cup and just do exactly what we're asking of her, right? Like that's what I'm saying. That's the Alex Morgan that can definitely influence and change the tides here for San Diego Wave. Is that if she just maybe just takes that extra step, is more of a false nine, even just distributing better, looking at the ball, holding up the play. She still commands a respect on the field. That's not what we're saying. She commands double coverage if need be, and she gets it most of the time. But what I'm saying is that even then, when she does get those opportunities, she's not taking advantage of them. But on top of that, if Morgan's getting double covered, that means that you as the teammates have to find who isn't and really exploit those holes, which Wave just aren't doing. And that's the overall the issue, where they make it all the way, but once they get to that finish line, they get the cold feet. Like they don't know what to do. And sure, some of it's just luck, and that's again, Paul Casey said it. That's just our luck right now. That's just how it's been right now. Like, yeah, that's the reality of it. And sometimes soccer's like that, but they have to start going in regardless.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely excited to see.
Yeah.
Pásate de lanza. No, I am excited to see what this guy, because I do agree with you, Abe. I think a player of this quality and class can definitely bring out the best of other players in your team. We've seen that in the past with different players in different teams, right? So I am excited to see what it looks like. I sure hope that after the Olympics are over and everyone's back, it is kind of like a wake up call for San Diego Wave, because I mean, again, you have a pause on the season right now, but that clock is still ticking. You still need to make sure you make playoffs, and who knows, maybe they do find a confidence boost once they start scoring goals, and it's Cascarino helping out in that, right? And then maybe she does help Alex Morgan score some goals. So it's a moment of waiting and a what if moment to see if it actually happens. But if it doesn't, then that's a conversation that will need to be had.
Interesting times at Snapdragon Stadium. San Diego Wave we'll be playing against Angel City coming up. I know there was a confusion for some because they changed the time for the Angel City
In
August,
Yeah.
not August 1st, and that a lot of people were confused with that, me included. The San Diego Wave team, from what I've been told, is aware of that because there's a wrong promoted Instagram post with the wrong date. But either way, tomorrow we should be talking to Coach Paul Buckle and Westfall, so that should be good coming out. A lot of good stuff happening. Look, this is the time where it's good to see who's actually going to be there. It's a good test, right? At the end of the day, I think the season's a wash. Like emotionally, it's drained everybody that's involved. But overall, it's one of these things where it just pushed to the end of the season. Better things ahead. Hopefully, this soccer in San Diego revolution, renaissance, just the apotheosis of soccer in San Diego is something that's beneficial for. That was a good sentence. That was beneficial for. You know what apotheosis is?
Yeah, but just saying big words doesn't make it a good sentence.
No, it's a great sentence. The apotheosis of soccer in San Diego, the ascension into this higher being and form, I hope, brings and brings new eyes to San Diego Wave, and the fan base really resonates because, again, this is a huge year for San Diego Wave, and it's being fumbled in a lot of different ways.
I think it's still a little too early to call it a wash because you have the NWSL regular season. You just need to get top 8 to make playoffs. Like that's still within reach for the Wave. Like you could say that I think maybe after the next 2 regular season matches or maybe the first regular season match. But once that happens, that's when you can make your final determination. I think
2 matches. You got your 2 matches, son. That's what you're gonna get. And
I will give my prediction after the first 2 NWSL regular season matches.
And mark my words, Abe, I don't think it's going to change. I really don't think it's going to change. There's a huge X factor with Cascarino coming in. Huge. But even then, I don't know, man. This is what you thought Maria Sanchez was going to be. And she's done well, but I don't think as expected.
Yeah, I think it falls more on the tactics of how the team has been playing. I think it's been a morale. I think the players haven't been held accountable for how poor they have been performing. This idea of like, oh, if we keep playing this way, we're gonna keep winning games. Like that's not true. And we've seen that in the past with so many teams. You keep playing the way you're playing. If you're not getting those results, you're not gonna keep getting any new results. And that's just point blank. And that's just, again, it's a very, very positive way of thinking for a head coach. But at the end of the day, thinking like that only hurts your team in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Buckle set up not in the best situation, coming in and trying his best and just, going with that wave.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope whoever does end up coming in makes a drastic change for the team because at this point, this is what they need, a drastic change.
I agree. Abe, 2 games. That's 2 all you got. All right.
Also, real quick, we didn't talk enough about Scarlett Camberos. She looked like a completely different player with America compared to Bay FC or Angel City. Just playing out of her mind with freedom, with intensity, speed. Look like happiness. That's a good way to say it.
Yeah, joy.
Good thing that she got to go back to America with everything that happened that made her leave. Being able to go back and play that way, continue performing at Snapdragon Stadium. Like she had a great shot on goal that Morgan Messner was able to save. But it was fun to see her play like that. Chula Vista native. Shout out.
San Diego Soccer representing.
What happens when you're actually happy where you're at, when you're happy to be with old teammates, when you're actually able to love where you're at, like it shows in your game, and it showed in Camberos, and you know,
That's why I like soccer, because it's
it makes you think if maybe some wave players aren't happy here.
it's a complete reflection of the human being that's playing, right? Emotionally, like you can be mad, you can be angry with something, but you can use that on the field, and you know what, that day you're going to play amazing defense, or you're going to play a very strong game, or
Mhm.
you know, if you're happy, you're going to play with joy, you're looser, you're having fun, it's a game. And that's a part of soccer that I think, you know, is very few from out there, just that outlier where you can, it's really expressive. It's why it's the best.
It's the best.
Ram says he's the best. I agree with Abe. Not a wash. Shooting for eighth, but even then, he's saying that shooting for eighth. Okay.
Gotham was 8th, and they won the
Yeah,
championship.
they were. Okay. I want to see it. I want to see it. I'm not saying I don't. I'm not seeing anything different so far. So once I do, you know, that's why it's good not to be stagnant with information. New information comes in, new inputs yield new outputs. So
it really is a matter to see how that first game looks. Do we want to dive in a little bit about the Olympics? The U.S. women's national team, a lot of San Diego wave players representing. Let's start with that. If you haven't heard by then, or by now, Canada's a ripoff.
Frauds.
Canada's playing really well. Have you guys watched these games?
They're not nice people. Whatever you think they are, they're not nice people.
Okay, you're going for the emotional side of it. All right.
I think before we say all this, I don't know if, just to give background on, in case people don't know, Canada was caught in a Spygate scandal with drones peeking at the New Zealand practice multiple times. Then after further reporting, they realized that it's happened both on the men's and women's side. It's a systemic issue that drones and spying is happening, directed by Canada Soccer, Canada Federation, just from coaches all around. And it got caught for this Olympics, and 3 coaches were suspended for a year. Canada was fined, I think, like 300,000 Canadian dollars or something. Like, it's a lot of money. They got fined a very hefty amount for a team that already has financial issues. A lot of the players have already came out and said that they had nothing to do with this. They had no knowledge of this. They were not involved. They're kind of victims, which I tend to believe. If you're going to say things like this so publicly, like especially their captains and stuff, they have to be 100% sure and 100% confident, because there's going to be legal issues. There's going to be people called into stuff like this with FIFA and all that. So you can't be lying about any of this. So if the players didn't know, that sucks for the players. They still gained an unfair advantage, probably. But it just sucks for the players, honestly.
I mean, overall, you know, the reality of being a representative of your country in the Olympics in a foreign country, walking, like, just again putting everything into perspective. We talked to Shannon McMillan last week. Thank you for her joining. We're gonna hit her up again, see if we can get a check in mid Olympics towards the end, depending on how the U.S. women's national team does or crashes out or not. They're doing great, by the way. We'll get to that bit, but again, like, it's heartbreaking just to have a 6-point deduction, because that's your job. The Olympics doesn't pay a lot. If you look at the history of how much Olympic gold medalists, the winners, the actual winners make, or just off of advertisement, you have to be in the 0.1% of the athletes who win, especially here in America, to really see a profit of any sorts. Like, it used to be like, oh, that's the guy in the Wheaties box, but who's eating Wheaties? Abe, are you eating Wheaties?
I've never eaten Wheaties before.
Yeah, no, like, not even for the cool box, right? I had Choco Crispies and stuff.
El juguetito. Oh, cuando venían las cucharas, those nice spoons.
Oh, the Star Wars plastic spoons. Heck yeah. Did you ever eat Mexican cereal?
No, I remember the little thing in the chips, like Tostitos and all that.
Oh, the pogs.
Tazos?
Tazos, bro. Yeah, no, 100%.
I had
You
Yeah.
know what it was called? Damn.
Tassos. If there was a talent show right now for useless things, is my just absolute swindle. Like
That would be chitazos.
no,
Yeah.
no,
No.
nope,
Yes. 100%.
nope.
Yeah.
Tassos off. Let's
No,
do it for
no.
charity. Let's set it up, guys.
Tassos tournament.
Tournaments. The Pokemon.
Mucha
The-
lucha.
The Pokemon. Vatos, esos no son tazos. You're talking about the metal ones. I'm talking about classic plastic.
Mucha lucha had plastic too.
Clink. Yeah, but we're not. All right. Yeah, see, metal tazos. All right, Esteban, I'll take your tazos right now. The Yu-Gi-Oh, SpongeBob. Oh, that sound.
Asking someone to borrow one. De juego de verdis, regálame uno, and then just taking all of their tazos.
I did that so many times
Yeah.
at school that my mom thought that I was stealing them. Well, the ones
well,
that she
you
saw
you finessed
weren't. But the ones that I kept at school, the ones that she didn't know. But if you really think about it, it's gross
In
because
your desk.
everybody I thought about that years later, like the pogs that people play with because they were in with chamoy and shit. So
yeah.
every tazo got slurped up.
Yeah. And nobody went and washed
Nobody-
them.
no.
Like, no. Maybe with your shirt. That's it.
That's why I'm still on just a couple vaccines and not all of them. I'm still good. Yeah, tazos for the win. We should make tazos for San Diego football. Just soccer, like wave tazos, a Patty McNair tazo,
Damn.
SDFC, San Diego Wave.
Don't be giving this away for free, man.
No, look, they're going to be taking advantage of what the La Raza like, and I'm being specific about that because el pinche Goku in Comic-Con, like, come on, like, all right, like, good, like, I like that you're embracing it. A lot of people are responding well to that. Like, Dragon Ball Z and Mexican culture is great, but Pogs, San Diego Wave Pogs. Kaylin Sheridan.
Can we go back to the Canada stuff? I feel like we completely skipped that.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Tragic set of sporting events. Overall, it puts into question everything, right? Like just everybody who's in there, who has benefited, right? As you're saying.
I don't know if I don't know if you got to add that FIFA ended up deducting 6 points away from Canada in the group stage. So as of now, they sit with 2 wins with 0 points in the group.
And the crazy part is technically they can still qualify with a win, and I think Paris beat New Zealand, or New Zealand beat Paris. One of those results has to go in their favor, and they'll still be able to qualify.
You know, Paris was a
So-
country.
Honestly, I think this team has kind of rallied a little bit. I didn't even hear the joke. Sorry. What was
No,
that?
because you said the country Paris, and he caught it, and so if he calls you out on it, Abe, I'm sorry.
Did I
But
say Paris? What did I
you
say?
said the
Paris,
great country of
France.
Paris.
Okay, yeah.
Paris?
Don't let me play.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry, Abe.
All right. Here
sorry.
currently where everything stands, Group A, B, and C. As you're saying, Canada in third, Abe. That'd be cool.
If Canada someone rallies up and still qualifies.
He can't get over this Paris thing. Edwin can't either.
Yeah, no. Sorry, Abe.
It's okay.
I know my geography, guys. All right, it was a slip up.
He's so disappointed.
I know how.
Did you
how
catch
that
it?
Feels. I did not.
No,
You
I
have-
didn't even catch it.
No,
I
no,
did not catch myself.
That's why he's ashamed of it.
Yeah,
you
because I
caught it.
caught it.
I'm ashamed I didn't catch it, and then you had to get that. That's
But yeah,
it was me. Let them eat cake, Marie Antoinette. Such a weird opening.
was cool.
Ceremonies. It was cool.
With the
100%.
rock.
It was very
The
different.
medal was
Heavy
dope.
metal, yeah.
Again, the standard is 2008 China.
Mm.
No mames, way. Like
That shit was scary though.
no, it wasn't.
It was
You're-
so dope.
You
It
saw
was
the
dope.
post,
It was dope.
and it lit up.
No, it's not. Yeah, 2008 in Beijing. That sets the bar.
Yeah, 100%. But all right, it'd be cool if Canada makes it. Despite this, you see the United States there.
I think Abe, you tried to tell us, right? I think on a group chat, it's like, hey, makes you question some penalty saves by Sheridan with
I was
He's like-
joking.
Canada.
He's like,
That
that
was
was
a joke.
private. He cocked his head knowing exactly what it was.
That was a joke.
That was a
There's-
joke,
I
absolutely.
genuinely think that like goalkeepers, players, they don't see stuff like that. I mean, there was reporting that said men's
nobody's-
players did see drone footage, but
Nobody's-
players know like this is not good.
Nobody's telling the goalkeeper what what's being spied on. Like there's nobody informing the goalkeeper locker room. I'll tell you this right now, to gain an advantage other than actually studying.
Which goalkeeper was it? Was it Dibu for Argentina? Or I forgot which water bottle. It had every player's name from the team. And they had like, they like usually they shoot to the left or dive left.
There's
dive
people.
right.
Oliver Kahn used to keep a piece of paper in his calceta just for that reason, in case. And that's what I love about it. In case they went to penalties, and I believe that that's another just intelligence aspect. Caitlin Sheridan knows her shit. Like this doesn't mean that Caitlin Sheridan by any means is taking advantage of drone footage to decide where she's gonna go left or right. Like if she was to say I dive based on what I felt that day, cool, I'd believe it because it works more often than it should as a goalkeeper stopping penalties. I'll tell you that much.
This was the only reason Canada and the men's side qualified.
No, that was a little fishy. When Canada started being good at soccer, that's when I'm just like, okay, what?
On the men's side.
What? Like, what's going on here?
Now it all makes sense.
Yeah, it just, like.
For me, it was like, the men's are doing this too. Got it.
Like, is Alphonse Davis really that good? Like, it was only USL 1. Like, wasn't the championship or was it?
It was a championship.
It was championship, but even then. All right, Olympics.
From USL to
the US looks good. They're doing a great job. Just revamp.
Naomi Girma has been starting. Jaden Shaw has been injured, so that's a little unfortunate. If you're a Wave fan, kind of following the U.S. Women's National Team and the Wave players representing. So I mean, hopefully she's back by the next game. I don't know if Abe, have you seen if there has been a report if she's out the whole Olympics or anything along those lines?
They've been taking it like day by day. I think she's been still training just away from the team. I think that she's probably being saved a little bit, especially when you can be calm in the group stage and stuff. Just save her minutes, especially when she's such a dynamic forward. You're going to be able to put that in like one of these knockout games when you really need it. So I think that's what they're saving for. I doubt we see her for this next group stage match. But she'll play this Olympics, I think. And then, Naomi Girma has been playing out of her mind, like, still. And then that top 3 for the U.S. is insane. The Trinity Rodman, Sophia Smith, and Mallory Swanson trio is insane. And to think Alex Morgan was almost a part of that. Like, there's no way you can imagine her with that trio. Or
once Mia Fisher comes back,
any of those.
It's over for Morgan. Mia Fisher coming back to the U.S. Women's National Team.
It's already over for her.
It's
with Emma Hayes taking the lead, like it's over for her in the national team.
It's been a good run. Again, prove me wrong at least, because I guess I'm the one that's being super negative. It's over for Wave this season. There's still hope. There is hope. Never tell them the odds.
If you believe.
Did you watch that? Did you watch Marvel, Abe? Any Comic-Con? Did you take any of that?
I watched Deadpool this weekend.
Yeah?
I don't like the Doctor Doom thing. That was a little bit like, why are you bringing him back? You could wait a few years. Wait a few years, man. You're just bringing him back for the cheap pop. Like, it's not worth it.
I have
wait a few years.
I have extensive thoughts about this, and we can get into it because I can break this down into a molecular level.
Before we dive into that, is there anything else Olympics, guys?
No.
We will be having Michelle and McMillan on soon once again. That's crazy. Just like resident experts on the football for Olympic soccer. But yeah, Abe.
No, that's all I got on Olympics. It's been fun to watch every other sport too, though.
Yeah,
rugby is cool. 7v7 rugby is a little bit more fun than what the Legion play. I think it's a little bit smaller field, more intensity. I thought it was cool.
So really quick, indulge me in this, right? It was ridiculous. It was laughed at by my girlfriend. She's like, hey, because I told her wrestling, professional wrestling, luchitas, should be an Olympic sport. That's Chris Jericho's thought. You're shaking your head. Why not, Abe? It's a performative, subjectively scored sport that can be much like figure skating, much like synchronized swimming, much like breakdancing now. Here's how you do it.
So you're having like 2 Japanese wrestlers fight each other, and then
Correct.
2 Mexican. Okay, I kind of like that then.
Correct. And then there's a panel of judges. And so you have Rey Mysterio, and he's not the best. Rey Mystico versus Rey Mysterio representing Mexico. Even Rey Mysterio is technically representing Mexico. And they have their 5-minute match, right? 5 minutes. That's all you get. The preliminary round, it gets based out of 10, right? Oh, cool. You can end it however you want. Like it's just you do what you
Based
do
out of like show
in that
performance.
time frame. Yes. And then the US side, you have Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega. Like, okay, let's go ahead and do that. And that's 5 minutes, go. And if they move on to the next round, you get 10 minutes. And you just go until the best. I mean, Japan would go crazy. Shinsuke Nakamura and Okada.
Is there
all right.
enough like pro wrestlers or anything like that from around the world?
100%. There's plenty
I
of
like
them.
that. That'd be cool.
Plenty of them.
That'd be pretty
Professional
cool.
wrestling should be an Olympic sport. Chris Jericho did come up with that, but I mean,
I like that.
I'm on
Baseball
that.
shouldn't, but wrestling should.
Baseball should okay.
Dude, I have a whole thing that baseball should be exactly like soccer internationally, because it would be way cooler. The World Baseball Classic is way cooler than any World Series in the past few years. That was so fun to watch.
The way Dragon Ball Z and the Ring of Thanos similar. I mean, Dragon Ball Z, they're talking about Comic-Con, right? They're taking there's
Okay,
liberties being taken.
You said you have thoughts on Doctor Doom.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
you go for it, Tony. What do you think?
okay, well, we're gonna bookend this, but make sure that this is the clip that we make, Chiva. This has been a San Diego Wave coverage. Trying to bookend some stuff. All right, Doctor Doom. So Robert Downey Jr. returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the multiverse. If you watched Deadpool, if you've been keeping up with the latest Earth 616, this is the sacred timeline where everything supposedly happens, right? So Doctor Doom being Iron Man / Tony Stark could bode perfectly. There's actually 2 different cases in the comics where this does happen. One of them being that Doctor Doom is the roommate of Tony Stark. And that just kind of plays on where traditionally it's Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four, who is the roommate to Victor Von Doom, and then they have their rivalry. But this time it's Tony Stark, and eventually they switch bodies, they switch minds. So that's one of them. And then there's the other version where it's just straight up like, nah, like he's a good guy and he's bad. Like there's situations where this happens. And so I think it sets up for a really interesting timeline for Marvel to really hit that reset button. You need a big bad, and Doomsday was coming, and this is eventually going to lead to Galactus. There was some leaked footage of the Fantastic Four at Hall H that really delineated where this is going. The first steps of what? This is very retro looking. Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. Reed Richards actually looks excellent, and really looking overall, I think that Robert Downey Jr. being part of this next saga and legacy really puts and cements him as the guy for Marvel. Not only that, if executed correctly, there's a really good chance that he can be what Hulk Hogan was in the WWE / WCW era, where he had his resurgence, he had his yellow and red, and then boom, he turns heel. It's his next iteration. It's just as great, some may argue, but at the end of the day, I think that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is in good hands if handled correctly. There's a little bit too many dendrites and axioms going off, and then they need to be pruned, a la TVA, something that was addressed in Deadpool 3 with Wolverine, featuring Hugh Jackman, who now is definitely going to be the guy. As they made a joke, I don't really want to spoil it, go into it, but if you're a X-Men fan, it's really going to be something that's going to warm your heart and really make you want to have this next step include your favorite heroes. And now there is an avenue to do that. We saw Cassandra Nova. That's one of the most powerful mutants in history. That's an Omega level threat, and it cannot be contained at times into one multiverse timeline, but it's going to be a good time. Abe,
everything you said is very spot on.
I think just because it happened in the comics doesn't make it good storytelling for films. There's a reason why Thanos isn't trying to court Lady Death in the Avengers Infinity War movie.
Wow. Spoilers.
Okay? There's reasons why they changed like Adam Warlock's character in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I think you could have left that on for years in advance. Wait until they're all old because you're just bringing them back because you guys haven't like made that many good movies, which it's their own fault. They haven't been giving enough time to characters in proper movies. They've only given like Shang-Chi a movie and then the Eternal. Like the other Avengers movie gave everyone their own singular movie, their own time to develop as character, and then they brought them all together. They're kind of just throwing it all out there on TV and not doing a very good job. They're rewriting everything.
And
I
they're trying
think
to fix it.
that Captain America show was cool, but then they rewrote it because of
Not
COVID.
good. It was.
I
Not,
liked the Captain America show.
It was not good.
It was not needed.
What?
It's not.
It was not needed. You could have made that show and those ideas into a baseline Captain America movie
Mhm.
moving forward with the Falcon now being
I am excited for the new Captain
100%.
America.
That's gonna
movie.
be great.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fantastic. Again,
Harrison
just-
Ford.
oh,
That's
man.
gonna be fucking
Thunderbolt.
dope. Yeah.
Oh man, the Thunderbolts. I mean, it's
Red Hulk.
I'm excited for the Thunderbolts because who's the fake Captain America guy? I forget what his name was. think it
yeah,
was
he's
Yeah,
back. He's
yeah.
so that's gonna be Marvel.
Wyatt Russell.
answer to
That was
this.
the actor. He's so good. That was intense. That scene where he like spoilers, but he had the shield and was bloodying someone up, just
Yeah.
destroyed them. I thought it was sick. They just ruined it at the end with kind of that weird. The villain was cool at first. You could tell they were doing a weird pandemic storyline, but they
Yeah.
had to cut that, and then she just kind of became super evil, and then they kill her. Which
This is when
was-
you know the Russell brothers are
This
also
is what this-
directing both the Avengers films.
this is what
That's what you also know.
The
it's in
rest
good
of this
hands.
podcast should be.
This
I'm
Marvel
just,
Comic
I'm just taking that. I mean, let's roll. This
I got
can
the
be.
sticker
This
from
can be.
Comic-Con.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I won that Rick and Morty
That's sick.
toilet paper holder. It's Pickle Rick
Like it
down
says,
there,
I'm silently choking you.
right there. Where is he? Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick.
Anyway, Abe.
Anyway,
Thank you.
Patty McNair. You guys
Patty
can go
McNair.
first.
You wanna take that break that you were talking to us about? All right, sounds good.
We did talk about it last week, and we kind of gave a little dive about Patty McNair and his game, right? And it now became official from San Diego FC, where they signed Patty McNair, a 29-year-old center back from Northern Ireland, originated from Manchester United.
He was birthed from Manchester United
And,
from the
just
depths.
mainly played in Middlesbrough in the EFL. And
Oof. Yes.
What?
You could stick to Boro, please.
It
Just say
wasn't
Boro.
that bad. Leave him alone.
fuck you, man.
Okay, Paris.
Okay, so I played in Sunderland, and then in that other team that Tony made fun of me. It's
Middlesbrough.
Middlesbrough.
Middlesbrough, the middle bro, not the side
Middlesbrough,
bro, but the middle
Middlesbrough.
bro.
I like that better. Middlesbrough.
He is gonna be on loan with West
West
Bromwich
Brom.
Albion up until the season. So kind of like with Chucky with PSV being on loan there until they have to pretty much report to San Diego FC.
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, we have the latest technology here available at San Diego Football 2 Balls and Mike studios. We've done our extensive research through the research department. As you can clearly see, Patty McNair being listed as a 72. He's a good leader. Like that's something that's from my actual research.
To quote you from last episode, he's had a career.
Yes, he's had a career that will continue here in San Diego now. But it's that presence. I know we spoke to Tyler Heaps at the Chucky Lozano press conference, and that's really been the only insight into this next phase of San Diego FC and what they're planning on moving into, and the play style that's going to complement the right to dream play style that hopefully kind of sees a good marriage in the first season, which is already, again, hats off to what you're trying to do, San Diego FC, but it's very ambitious to try to be a first year team, be very competitive, stick to this philosophy of playing in the first year, have players that aren't part of that system, be able to integrate them. 10 years from now, there's going to be another huge signing for SDFC. And the big question is going to be like, will this person fit into the SDFC style? Will this one player fit? You're trying to make 11 plus the bench and reserves and everything fit at once. It's a very difficult thing to ask for. Patty McNair, though, very strong player. Very smart player. He can play in different areas. He's played in the middle and in midfield. He's played for his North Ireland side. He's captained that national team. He's been an important player, and this is something that is people start getting used to, right? The talks of Royce, Sergio Ramos, Estebato, is he coming? This is where the expectations should start kind of tempering, right? You start hearing of who's coming to the MLS, who's coming here. These are some of the players that they're going to be coming here, and this is the level of players, a good, solid European level player, and nothing more. Sprinkle in some stars, sprinkle in a Olivier Giroud here and there. Like that's okay to do too. It's the MLS. You're trying to win the MLS. Do you have any extraneating thoughts, Abe, on this?
No, I think you need players like this to fill out your roster. I don't think that's a little bit harsh, but he's going to be a starter. He's going to be a starting center back, I think, for this team. And you need plenty of players like this. Seems to be comfortable on the ball. This is exactly the kind of player that Tyler Heaps was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think the rumors with Sergio Ramos, while like entertaining, it's still going to be a designated player.
Yeah.
Like, then I think 619 say soccer, that's funny thing. Majority of the MLS, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like he was calling it at the time. 619 soccer was calling it at the time. They're not going to be the majority of the MLS.
Damn, coming after 619 soccer.
No,
Huh,
I'm saying he
he's
called
saying
it.
he called it.
Oh, he
They're
called
not
it.
going
Oh,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
them.
Okay, I thought the other way.
No.
Get around.
I do agree. I do like Patty McNair being the center back over Sergio Ramos. I mean, what is a 37, 38-year-old center back really going to give you, right? Patty McNair, he's going to be 30 next April. Center backs can play up to 33, 34, and it kind of gives you that solid foundation of what you want your backline to look like. I do think the loan to West Bromwich Albion is genius. Not to a Premier League team, just an EFL team where he's going to be a starter. He's going to make an impact there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then just kind of, if you're playing in the EFL, you can definitely compete in the MLS as well. So I do like that move, and I do hope that when he comes to San Diego, eventually you're gonna need a captain.
Yeah, and I mean,
is he?
You can have an emotional captain. You can have a captain that's a leader of men. Again, what is the captain really goes down to the play style of a team, right? So like
now you have this player that has this successful career overall, and is a solid center back. But then you also have Chucky, who's very hype, and like the name it alone could kind of earn him that captain armband. I mean, you had it with Carlos Vela and LAFC. So it's kind of like a decision that now the coach needs to make whenever they do announce a coach.
Yeah, you give the captain's armband based on, what you do. You give it to Neymar for one reason, and then you give it to Puyol for another reason, right? Like that's kind of how things work out. But it's interesting getting filled out. All these signings, as I was saying, are starters except Duran. You watch out, man. Duran.
There's not another goalkeeper.
There's not another goalkeeper right now.
So
the winds of whispering David De Gea as a potential target. So, I mean, there's potentially just kind of
find a deal with a team in the Serie A.
Yes, like I was the Serie A. David De Gea.
Yeah, I thought I saw a tweet about David De Gea, like pretty much.
Is it? I don't even know where I was going to go with that. All right, let's hear from new signing, and I really Genoa, got it. I really thought he was going to go into it and say that it was his childhood dream to play for San Diego FC, the way it was going. But here's Paddy McNair.
I've always said, when I was young, I always wanted to play outside of England. I've played in England for the last, 15 years, and yeah, when I first started San Diego, I just sort of got that, gut feeling. And
I think it went away. That's weird.
I think I got kicked out. Are we back?
You got kicked out. We're back.
We're back.
Just to go back on that, David Gea is actually not going to Genoa. That deal is not happening, and Keylor Navas is out of the question as he's being announced tomorrow for AC Monza.
Yeah, so
according to Big Boss Fabrizio Romano.
So again, just putting it out there, Duran Ferri potentially still on the brink of being a starter for San Diego FC.
You know, gut feeling and, you know, excitement, then yeah, it's just obviously it's a new team, new project, but I think that just sort of adds to the excitement of it, and you know, the chance to play in the MLS, which I think it's a league going every year. You know, obviously in the last few years, there's some, you know, very big players, you know, have gone there, so it's something that, you know, I'm very excited to be part of. You know, I play centre back, and I feel like I'm, you know, a very modern day sort of centre back. You know, I love you know, the ball at my feet, and yeah, I feel like the style of play will, you know, suit me very well, and I'm sure it'll be a, you know, very attacking style with the ball, and it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be, as you say, history made, and you know, to be a part of that, you know, it's very special. And obviously the stadium, I've seen, you know, it's lovely, and you know, all the plans for the club, the training ground, and yeah, it all looks, you know, amazing. And as I said, I just sort of can't wait to go over there and get started.
Nelson's corner. Flick to the back post and in. They've got another one. Paddy McNair gets in on the act.
Paddy McNair, the newest San Diego FC player. Yeah, let's go. Ooh.
Is there a more Irish name than Paddy McNair?
No, like there has to be a pub on every corner named Paddy McNair. Franchise of pubs. That's you know, it's good when you have to have subtitles for somebody who speaks English. But I mean, so
Yeah.
anyway, Paddy McNair making his way here. It's interesting that they highlight his attacking aspect and prowess. Usually that's what I've noticed happens, you know, just from seeing San Diego Loyal startup, where like you see highlights of any individual player and it can be the first defender, and you'll have every single offensive chance that he's ever had, or any type of goal. So we'll see what this means.
The Wave did it with Torpy.
Yeah, they did. We'll see what this means for San Diego FC and their overall play style. But I know people are, you know, interested and skeptical as far as what they're signing up for. I saw that the prices for season tickets have come out, and people are pleasantly okay with it. It's not cheap. I'll tell you that much. It's not cheap, but that's kind of what it was expected to be.
¿Cuánto salen?
I think a couple thousand or 1,000 something for a good solid seat. Seamus O'Toole might have been Irish with Paddy McNair, but adding to the team, adding to the 11. I saw terrible Padres memes with the flags graphic, where it was like, you know, 2 Danish guys. You got Mexico represented. You got Ireland, Northern Ireland represented, and ¿qué más?
U.S.
The U.S. Yes, the U.S. Being represented. So until then, we'll see where this is heading, because until a soccer ball rolls, there isn't a lot of zhuzh. We will be actually speaking next week, being on a phone call with Joaquin Escoto, who is the head and leading the Right to Dream here branch here in San Diego. Pretty much about what he's looking for in these tryouts. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the first tryout that San Diego FC will be having in the region. They're trying out in San Diego and in Tijuana, both sides of the border. So it'll be a good talk to see what he's looking for, and you know, what is he going to build San Diego FC to look like in 10 years. This is the guy building this team for the future, literally being out there.
You also have Denmark being represented.
Danish.
Okay, that's what you said.
The thing I can't eat.
Oh.
You know, I can actually eat food now. I don't think. See, you've been on vacation
I
from
have
work
not been
for
on
like
vacation.
2 weeks.
I took Friday and
Little
Monday
do you
off.
guys know, like he's been just wheeling and dealing and just that cashing in that PTO.
No, I took Friday and Monday.
But I can eat food now. Abe.
It's all gonna go downhill now.
I can. That was great.
They should have not let you do that.
2 cups of leafy greens, 1 cup of raw veggies, or half a cup of cooked veggies, 3 grams of protein, and that's about it.
¿Ya comiste algo?
Oh yeah, dude.
Lechuguita?
Yeah, who eats lechuga like that? I'm sorry. I di la parto, romaine lettuce. That's actually I took a piece of myself.
Oh, man, you're rusty.
Oh,
You're rusty with the knife.
thank you for again asking earlier. Comic-Con was great too. We actually had access to the FX booth outside through San Diego Punto Futbol. Word got through because there was a press line, and doing some B-roll footage, picture taking of the Wrexham things that they had, and great people out there let us in, and we had wristbands and got a great sunburn out there. Caught a Lucario. Fought a Mega Lucario in a raid, so that's how I keep track of my steps. Pokemon
Did
Go.
you guys like eat at the bear thing, or what was that?
The bear thing, yeah, chef, was an activation where you went in, they had the set, you sit down, and then the food isn't food, it's a shirt, and so they actually give you the shirt. Let me actually have it here.
Do you like the bear? Have you watched the bear, Chiva?
I have not watched the bear yet.
It's a great show.
Oh.
I actually went to the restaurant when I was in Chicago last year.
Oh, Abe went to the restaurant. when
So
he was
this
in
is
Chicago.
this is the weirdest episode of Two Balls and a Mic. This is now turned into an unboxing. Oh, this is what you got. So they opened the it looks like a sub. It looks like the thing that they eat. Let's open it now.
Don't mute yourself. People like the sound of that.
No, they
Like,
don't.
They do.
Do you like that sound? Like
It's like
unbox.
ASMR unboxing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to keep
people love
respectfully
that stuff now.
away. Respectfully
Like, people
away.
loved it.
Stop. I don't. All right. So here we go. Unboxing of the shirt. All right. And he's like, what size? And I looked at him like extra large.
Wow.
Because that's the biggest one they had.
Que se la ponga, que se la ponga, que se la ponga.
Exclusive.
Oh.
Cool.
So I'm rather betrayed because I was supposed to watch it with my girl. And we watched the first episode, and like you can tell when somebody's into it, like not into it. I was like, all right, like it's okay. We have to get through The Office because she's watching The Office for the first time. Michael just left. It's pandemonium.
Yeah.
Hates D'Angelo Vickers. Robert California is the dude. But lo and behold, we're in line, and I'm like, oh well, let's go to the American Horror Story one first because I think you've seen some episodes. Apparently, she hasn't. And then she's like, no, like we could do the bear one. I've already watched all 3 seasons.
Oh, betrayal.
Were you not into it, or was she not into it when you guys?
She thought
started?
I wasn't into it, which I'm like, wait, we used to work in the
Betrayal,
kitchen.
te
Like I know what
esperé.
this life is. And it's like, and it was
And it-
miscommunication. It's
Call-
fine.
call
And
it quits.
we worked. I think it's going to be one of those things, guys. I'm here to announce that the garage is now my home again. But yeah, so that was the betrayal. But I was able to get there.
I think you guys muted yourself.
Yeah, no, we did.
Yeah.
It happens from time to time. It's all good. San Diego Punto Futbol, San Diego Soccer, doing different things. Solana Beach Chrome Ball that restarted. It's going to be making its way once again.
Carlsbad this weekend.
Those are the events. San Diego Comic.com, .mx, please. That's what this really thing should be. How about Robert Jr. as Luis? You missed
it. Go back.
Luis.
Go back.
Luis.
Go back a good
100%.
20
Luis,
minutes.
Wait, te compro una soda. Wait. Go back and listen to it, and then come report back on our social medias. Go subscribe. Tell somebody to subscribe. Please
Yeah,
subscribe.
please subscribe
We're
to
almost to
YouTube.
1,000. Like
Have
literally.
a friend subscribe. Have your mom subscribe. Me
Yeah,
subscribe.
you know her email.
Subscribe for them.
I thought you know her name. Create a fake email. I don't know if she was promoting that.
Don't do that.
Okay, yeah, don't do that. No le robes a tu mamá para jugar las maquinitas. She sends you 4 tortillas, a kilo tortillas, and there used to be 5
Quiero mi
pesos.
cambio. Es que más le subieron los precios.
Yeah, kilo de tortillas.
No
and now
me dieron
6.
cambio.
And then why were you there for 30 minutes?
¿Que había línea?
It's because I was playing Metal Slug and I'm really good at it, and I beat the whole game with 1 peso. All right.
Yeah, go
Very
back,
nerdy,
Luis.
very nerdy episode today. Season's greetings to everybody. It's a good move, RDJ. It's a dude playing a dude. All right.
Goals-
Where were we?
If we're moving on from San Diego FC, the next big thing happening here in San Diego soccer wise is Manchester United versus Real Betis this
Yes,
Wednesday.
correct.
Here at Snapdragon, it's kind of like the repetitive Man United tour that they have to do in US. They have to stop in San Diego now with that partnership with Snapdragon. They are facing Real Betis this time, so something different that fans can probably expect from this game to the game against Wrexham last year is that the big team is coming for Man United. Like the top players that they have this season are going to be there, unlike the under 23 that played against Wrexham last year. Jadon Sancho's there. You have Casemiro there. You have
So the Paddy McNairs of Manchester United.
the Paddy
Got
McNairs
it.
of Manchester United going to be there. Same thing for Real Betis. No Andres Guardado anymore.
Dogs. Oh man. Bellerin will be there. Pellegrini will be there.
Bellerin will
We're
be
gonna
there.
try to make that press conference to pick up credentials as well. We have to actually coordinate that. But in any case, yeah, San Diego is going to be host to another international event here in the soccer sphere.
Isco.
Isco
plays for
is
Real
in
Betis,
Real
yeah.
Betis. You should probably know that.
I haven't kept up with La Liga, to be honest. So.
You don't keep up with Real Betis, bro?
No.
It's cool. But yeah, they Manchester United played here at SoFi Stadium against Arsenal. That was absolutely bonkers, a sea of red. So again, it's these warm-up games before the preseason. I think what we asked Eric Ten Hag last year, like, hey, do these how much is this a holiday, as they would say? How much is this a vacation, but how much of it is serious work? And he was like, no, like it's mostly when the time is it's go time, we're pushing the players 100% of what we should be doing at all times. And it really gave a different perspective as far as like you see the social media aspect of these European teams coming over, and it's a lot of like lounging. They go to Miami in the sun, in the city, New York. We're gonna go to like a lot of like culture, but like it actually is where players get cut, players get seen. That's where Mourinho decided, you know what? This Kevin De Bruyne guy just got his ACL torn. I don't need him. Bye. Mohamed Salah. Who? Adios. Great decisions by the special one. But it's actually really cool to be able to see some of these players top, very top, be able to make it. So we're going to be at the Street Soccer USA event that they're also holding, a tournament for high schoolers up north in Escondido. Yes.
I do want to share this. I mean,
yes,
you talked about like when they come, like how much is vacation? I mean, you have Kobe Mino for Manchester United playing in Venice Beach against youngsters. Out there. So I mean, that's still pretty cool. That they get to go out to community events like this and just kind of play and interact with the community. So kind of like with that Street Soccer USA thing that they're doing on Wednesday.
Yeah. Word is that the legend that's going over to the Street Soccer USA is not Ruud van Nistelrooy. Sorry for those fans waiting for that. It's also not Michael Carrick. Just putting a stop to that rumor. But yeah.
So I mean,
does this excite you at all, Abe? Do you ever get excited for these things?
Honestly, the summer tours don't give me that much excitement. If it's international friendlies, I get excited because international players, they're all fighting for these very limited number of spots. But summer tours for European teams, it's just not for me, honestly. I think it's like kind of a cash grab thing to just raise high prices on Americans, and then people that want to watch the team in England aren't able to, which is unfortunate, but I guess you got to make your money, right?
It's an exhibition, is what it is. This is why you had
penalties
a penalty after a game that
regardless
was
of
predetermined, which I guess, right? Like it's an exercise, it's a scrimmage. You have to practice these situations at some point, right? You get the people what they want. Like, why not take 5 penalties? Like the worst thing that can happen is Onana dives to his left and gets injured right there, out for the season, right? Like those things could potentially happen. But
I mean, last year we saw the Wrexham's top forward just nearly like die. It was scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scary things happen in friendlies, and especially when you have like 30,000 people in there. And then I can't imagine how that Manchester United goalkeeper took that after taking him out, I mean, 30,000 people were booing that goalkeeper.
Even when he was subbed off at halftime and he was a completely different goalkeeper,
Still getting booed.
that poor backup goalkeeper was getting booed as well. And it wasn't even him.
Shout out super player injured,
Paul
Super
Mullen.
Paul Mullen.
I remembered it. Paul
But
Mullen, super
again, keeping it on theme, the nerdiest episode of Two Balls in a Mic history, Paul Mullen. Spoiler alert for Deadpool. Wait for it. Abe is questioning his quixotic look. One of the cameos in Deadpool is Super Paul Mullen.
Was he the one with the
Correct.
flag?
Correct.
That's
that's
awesome.
all. And that's all we can say if you haven't seen it. So, because that movie certainly needs it. Give this little family flick a chance. Not a family flick at all, and it was excellent. We can definitely get into more Marvel once we finish San Diego Soccer. But tying it all back.
I mean, Man U versus Real Betis on Wednesday at Snapdragon. If you're gonna be there, it should be a fun time.
Yeah, we're gonna be there.
We're gonna be there
doing coverage.
And
Nobody
Abe, I
does
think
soccer
you're
in San
going
Diego.
Thursday, Abe. You're gonna be at the Wave
I
Angel
will
City
be
match.
in Fullerton watching the Angel City versus San Diego Wave.
Heck yeah.
Enjoy the community college aspect of a Cal State institution. I hope you really
You guys are gonna be
enjoy-
watching a game at a Cal State institution too. Snapdragon Stadium is a Cal State.
that.
CSU.
What's that?
CSU.
Yeah, but one behaves like it.
But to be honest, the Fullerton one is kind of like the sports stick, where
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
as
Like
DSU.
it is a cool aspect to
that's
it.
kind of like the same similarity.
Hopefully, it's the vibes are good. I know the Sirens who will be back once things get kicked off again for the NWSL with Call of the Sirens. We'll have them back to discuss everything in the community and the happenings around town with them. But yeah, I think that's a good spot. Anyway, Comic-Con.
We have goals, caps, and grades.
Do we really?
We do have goals, caps, and
Do we
grades.
really?
Uh,
That means I thought you had the thing ready.
oh, I did.
Todo yo.
Goals, caps, and grades.
Todo yo.
Tranquilo, viejo.
It's always me. Why always me? Balotelli got subbed off by Mancini in the U.S. Friendly because he tried to do a taquito and missed
True.
back in the day.
Mhm.
Abe was 2 back then.
No, he was a little older than that.
Soccer's the next pick for San Diego. What's the next sport that you want San Diego to have a franchise in?
Realistically, I think we could get a WNBA team. That would be nice. Other sports, I don't know. We already have rugby.
Oh my god, I'm biting my tongue so much. But yeah, I if that's what you want to see,
There's a
I
G
think that's
League
cool.
team in San Diego now.
There's a G League team, but bring back those
Football.
slimy bastards of the NFL.
Bring back football
Bring 'em
in San
back.
Diego. Bring it back.
Bring back those grubby hands. Hockey. I mean, I'm down. I'm down to learn about hockey. You know what? Well, in 2026, passes San Diego Punto Football turned to San Diego Punto Hockey.
Bring back NFL, San Diego. That'd be sick.
I went to a goals game this year, and the goals were just not that entertaining. They did not play a great brand of hockey.
What was it?
Emo night, so it was cool, but just slow.
Eres emo?
Did you say emo night?
I went to emo night for the
Eres
goals.
emo?
Yeah. I'm not.
Have you ever seen that? This is your goals and gaps and grades. This part is absolutely.
You don't get that
bonkers.
reference, Abe?
No, I don't.
Oh no. Oh man, have you ever watched Rosa de Guadalupe?
Are you familiar with the emo culture in
Yeah.
I've watched Rosa de Guadalupe.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a famous
well, you
episode.
need to pay more attention to it. Maybe you gain some personal wisdom, but
Mírame bien, Eduardo, y contéstame. ¿Eres emo? Contéstame. ¿Eres emo?
Que no, no soy emo.
Abraham at the San Diego Goals.
No soy emo.
No, Wendy. The judgmental face.
For our
No soy emo.
for our audio listeners, and those who don't have the privilege of speaking Spanish. Cuando mi familia me critica por usar ropa de color negro y escuchar música de Depeche Mode. When my family criticizes me for using the color black, for wearing the color black and listening to Depeche Mode. You know, that's
It is emo.
it was a huge thing in Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like, have you seen the greatest? Cinco de Mayo is when the Mexicans defeated the French in
Mhm,
Puebla,
Batalla de Puebla.
and that's kind of what that's for. But there's been other historic battles in Mexico on soil. Abe, have you ever heard of the battle of in Mexico, in DF, actually, in the city of Ciudad de Mexico, of the emos versus the punks?
No.
Oh man.
Abe, let me tell you. Let me.
We're educating the people here.
We're that's exactly what we're doing, and
Including me.
I really hope that I'm clicking on the right one, because it's one of the greatest things that happened in, like, this is a simulation that we live in. This is not the one, but let me see. This is absolutely
That's the one.
that's the one. So this is a huge counterculture just movement in the city of Mexico, Ciudad de Mexico, Mexico, lindo querido, between the emos and punks. And just to give you context, this is kind of the scenes where the people who identified as emo and people who identified as punk were at war with each other. So much so that kids were taking the streets, fighting. Like, it got pretty nasty. Like, los punks, clearly the punks, as you see there. Like,
Los
that's
punks.
that cell phone, man. Like, that guy es un licenciado now. That guy's a lawyer. That guy's a congressman.
Un ingeniero.
If he's one of the ones that survived. But no, like, things got ugly. Like, it there was police involvement. Like, it was not a good scene, and this is kind of the reality of this day. There was a heavy police presence at some point. It didn't discriminate in gender, in identity. Like, everybody was getting into it. Like, this is just charged language.
Se transformaban en fieras. Estaban listos con cinturón en mano. De pronto, este
Belts,
joven emo da el primer cinturonazo.
Nosotros
weapons.
estamos en contra de los emos. Somos entre ponquetos, darketos, emos.
¿Y por qué están atacando?
Porque están copiando nuestros estilos.
Why are you attacking? Because they're copying our style. All right, this isn't the most ridiculous thing, Abe, and this has a point somehow. This scuffle was not ended by the police. Do you know how this ended?
Everyone shook hands at the end.
Kind of, actually.
Decided we're all the
Actually, Abe, you're very close. Just watch these scenes of how this.
Música que salían del metro Insurgentes. Era un grupo de Hare Krishna y aunque no lo crea, ellos dispersaron la atención. Fueron 5 horas de gritos y empujones. El saldo afortunadamente fue blanco. Ote del Pino, Fuerza Informativa Azteca.
A group of
emo-
Hare Krishna monks in Mexico danced their way and stopped this bloodshed. I love Mexico.
Our
Mexico.
country is so cool.
Our country's so
It is the
fucking.
best country. in the world.
When was
Great.
that?
This
Like 3-4 years?
no,
no.
no.
That's
Okay.
way.
And
Did you see
This
that phone
video-
that guy had? That's
Yeah.
like 2006.
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Let me. 2007. This was 2007.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, was Los Dark, the Ponqueto, 2010. I mean, I'll take that. Like, take your pick. Those years are long gone. We are now. The 90s are as close to how the 60s were. Well, in the 90s,
Yeah.
or the 70s.
30 years.
It's insane. And we watch Scooby Doo, like, oh, look at those groovy dudes, like such a long time ago. Kids now are like, oh, those groovy dudes in the 90s, so tubular. All right,
Skibbity
goals,
Bob.
gaffes, and greats. Let's start, obviously, with the many a gaff. But let's start with a revision. This has never happened in goals, gaffes, and greats history. There's been various points where we've informed the players right then and there, hey, you've made top whatever of the week. How do you feel? Eh? What? Joe Corona, who later legally assaulted a man on a soccer field. But we have to rescind a great of the week. And this is going to be for goalkeeper for San Diego Wave, Hillary Beale. Abe, you were brave enough to look Paul Buckle, interim head coach for San Diego Wave, into his eyes, wonderful, wonderful eyes, and ask him a question.
Yeah, so just for background, I think the injury report on the Wave drops the day before. So on Thursday, you see Hillary Beale out, foot. That's in parentheses foot.
Yeah.
They always parenthesize whatever the player is injured with. So foot, that's weird. First thing I thought of, I was at work, I thought of it immediately just, didn't she kick the post after she saved the penalty kick? She did. It was a great penalty save.
Yeah.
You know, you get excited, you just celebrate in whichever way you can. She kicked the post. I think she high-fived Tiarangi immediately after too. You know, you're
In pain.
really excited. Things happen. You get excited. You do weird things, and then it turns out Thursday they realize she has a broken foot. Paul Buckle confirmed to us that she had a broken foot. I asked in the post game after asking about Morgan Messner's great game. I asked about why Hillary Beale was out in the first place, and it was yes, he did confirm it was because she kicked the post, which is unfortunate. I mean, you play your whole career to get like these chances like this, show out when the main goalkeeper is away under national duty, and then yeah, kind of just really really sucks. But yeah, sorry, we're gonna have to rescind the great.
Yeah, I mean, and these freak accidents happen, right? And I think at the end of the day, like, it's heartbreaking for the individual. Like, who would have thought just kicking it? But the first thing I thought is, why did you kick it with the point of your foot? My thing is like, I've kicked a couple posts, but I always hit with the inside of the foot or with the cleats because it makes a cooler clink sound. Never with the courtesy of everything San Diego. This image, the moment. That's
the face of someone that broke their foot.
That's the thing that
Yeah, shout out to Steven for that picture. I was talking to him after the press conference. He was just like thinking about it, like, oh yeah, I got a picture.
No, Esteban. Yeah, I mean, Esteban has a great series just of different drills. I know I saw the Duran Ferree drill coming up. Please stay away from the Hillary Beale drill. We want to make sure that you are healthy as possible for that. Hillary Beale drill sounds like Beedrill Pokemon that I don't have in my Pokedex on Pokemon Go.
So, I mean, retracting that, the gaffe of the week goes to the Canadian coaching staff in the Olympics, pretty much with the whole spying, drone usage. So, I mean, the Canadian coaching staff get San Diego Punto Futbol's gaffe of the week.
Yeah, dismissed. Just let go. Just that's it. You're done.
Well, technically, they're suspended for a year. They might find another job. Bev Priestman is a really good coach. We got to talk to her when she was here for the Gold Cup. I thought she was really honest, able to talk about everything really well. She was very emotional after that waterlogged game against the U.S. Rightfully so. And it sucks to see that, but I honestly don't like that they used her as a scapegoat and these other coaches as a scapegoat because it's obviously an issue in the entire federation.
Well, there's a reason they couldn't play better than the U.S. in that rainy day because they weren't expecting that when they were spying on the U.S. women's national team. So, joke's on them, right?
Hardy har. So dumb. Another gaffe. I would just kind of categorize it there is what's going on with the Leagues Cup in the MLS. And again, it's just kind of like a little snapshot, but this is Atlanta Stadium, just touted for being.
I think that's Atlanta in general too. Just their atmosphere hasn't been it anymore.
Yeah, and I mean that's a kind of a reflection of things that are happening. There's a lot of behind the scenes boycotting, and there's a lot of clubs and supporter groups that are standing up for the Open Cup and. Just how this has all been handled. The MLS commissioner, Don Garber, coming out and setting his foot as to what his expectations are for what the Open Cup should be in relation with the MLS and vice versa. But at the end of the day, like this, Open Cup is something that should exist outside of the MLS and should include the MLS. We can definitely get into a little bit more, but just a reality check, right? Like, this is a potential of what can happen here at Snapdragon Stadium at any given point. A Leagues Cup match that nobody wants to watch. And it's a reflection of the health of the league, of the health of the tournament. I'm not saying that if this was an Open Cup match between Atlanta and, a Sacramento Republic, that you'd have a dissimilar attendance. But just the health of the league in this regard is not doing well. And if they want to go in the direction that they say they want to go as a league, it's these little things that need to be cleaned up. I would suppose.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, Abe.
Yeah, I think the Messi effect has kind of changed people's expectations because before Messi was here, I think a game like this, like I think Seattle had like 24,000. Like you wouldn't expect crazy huge sellouts. I think LAFC can only host 22,000. Having these completely sold out NFL stadiums is unrealistic unless you're having Messi at the game. And if people kind of temper their expectations down to not believe every game is going to be a Messi type game with crazy attendance, I think MLS is fine.
I mean, you saw the Chivas versus San Jose Earthquakes at Levi Stadium. There was 51,000 fans. The stadium holds 68, so that's still a really good turnout. But then you also have one of the most popular teams in America playing there with Chivas that they don't often get to see.
There has to be a middle ground. Like that's the thing. Like there has to be a middle ground, and just locally here in San Diego, again, San Diego Wave's done a great job of putting butts in seats for some of these matchups and games, but we'll see. It's not that easy, and this is a potential kind of pathway that soccer in San Diego may find itself, and hopefully it doesn't. Like hopefully the product is good enough to have people want to go and experience it for the first time or just see Snapdragon, because I think also too the newness of Snapdragon has worn off. For anybody who's been wanting to see Snapdragon, they've already gone to watch a Wave game, a San Diego State game. Like, it's not like you go to the Cowboy Stadium and you're like, well, you can spend a whole day there and not watch a second of a game. But overall, I think that this is a stark reminder of the health and the different style. I don't know if in a Leagues Cup game or a similar tournament in, say, Boca Junior would ever see such a low attendance but again, we're comparing apples to oranges. So, all right, goal of the week. There was an Olympic goal.
Yeah, I think we should go with the first one I told you. I think it's
Esta?
yeah, that one.
Oh,
this one was a good one.
Solid choice. Set it up, Chiva. You found it. You saw the game. You were there in France.
Oh, see, I was there in Paris.
Yeah, after your 3-week vacation from work.
Oh, see. This was Japan in the last minutes of the match against Brazil. Just a dagger. That was a great shot that ended up crawling in. The goalkeeper was way out of place, but it's un golazo. Like, it just doesn't matter what it is. A great goal, and then to win it in the group stage against Brazil, who, I mean, just historically is known to be a powerhouse in soccer in general. Great result for Japan, but I mean, the awareness to know, okay, let me shoot this from here.
The primera. That's a great goal.
That wins goal of the week. Honorable mention to Putellas from Spain with a winning free kick for Spain as well in the group stage. That was a great free kick as well, but this one just kind of like, I think just the atmosphere of it just kind of hit a little different.
I like that. And this has been Olympic Soccer. Abe, this is the video that I was telling you about that I was going to play. This is my first soccer game that I ever played. PlayStation 1, Olympic Soccer, 1996. Look at the height that kid controlled this.
Wow.
Oh, it gets better.
He could not care less.
He kind of looks like
Abe.
He kind of looks like Abe. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. State of the art. No one's marking him.
Same soccer skills. That is Abe. Wow.
Chivalazo. That's goal of the week right there. Olympic soccer, 1996. Fucking graphics were excellent. All right. That's been goals, gaps, and greats. Greats. Did we mention a great? Yes. I mean, the U.S. women's national team doing great things, revamping their style, and I think it goes down to Emily Hayes at the end of the day. That leadership from her. Honorable mention to Scarlett Cambreros, and honorable mention to you, Abe. You're doing great. I'm trying to see Abe on the pitch. I mean, us too. We need to see that.
You guys aren't ready
Materialize.
for it, man. You're not ready.
Let's go. Would you be down just to go kick a ball? No,
always
nothing,
down
no
to kick a ball.
cameras. Just go kick a ball.
I'm always down to kick a ball. Yeah. I was kicking a ball on the beach the other day. Doing a really good job.
TFTI, bro. That has been goals, gaffs.
Oh, I had a
Yes.
great, actually. San Diego Wave social media
Oh, that's right.
manager, I think.
Yes,
Social media manager.
I had it lined up. I had it on the yes,
Emma Vanderheiden, I believe is how you pronounce the name.
yes.
Completely used to play college soccer. Gets
Santa Barbara.
called up from the behind the camera to the pitch as a national team replacement player for the Wave. She didn't get to play any minutes, but going from just, oh, I'm taking videos to, oh, can you play? Oh, yeah, you want to sign? You want to play? Okay.
So
Crazy.
in the inception of San Diego Wave, she's been in the team since day one.
Mhm.
And she was having like 6 different hats when the team started, and you know she ended up just solidifying her place as a social media manager. But she's been with the club since day one, and so we've been knowing her here and there. But just when this came through in the email per announcement per San Diego Wave, I got excited. I was like, oh, really? That's the thing. Like, I actually, I texted a SDFC staff. I'm like, hey man, get ready. Your day may come. Your day may come. But no, Emma played as a gaucho at UCSB.
Not a CSU.
Not a CSU, Superior actually. She played as a defender, midfielder. But it's just really cool. We actually caught up with her after because this is somebody who you always see on the sidelines. And again, take any sort of extrapolation that you want from this of like, wow, they had to resort to a front office person. This is the state of the Wave. Like, sure. But from a person perspective, that's cool.
That is sick.
That's just so cool. And
Yeah, the only thing that would have made it better if she played. This is TV stuff. They could have made a movie out of this if she played.
Yes, it is absolute. No, yeah, no, Esma, it's crazy. I was waiting for her Disney moment, her Disney movie moment. Like, there's nothing in the rule book that says the social media manager can't.
I love it too.
can't play a game.
I love it too, but then not to be the bad guy or anything. But then this is why Wave is in the position that they're at. They have to resort to signing a social media manager into the.
Put that out there.
Reserve. So I mean, that's why they're in that
There was-
state. That's why they're in shambles. That's
Oh
why
my
they're having one
God.
of the worst seasons.
I'm gonna
in
tell
their
her
existence.
this. You
So-
didn't talk to her after, all right?
I
You don't have
didn't.
the light. It's just the warmth.
No,
of knowing
it's
a
really
fellow
cool.
person
It's
do
really
that.
cool. But this is why the team is in this position.
I'm like, hey man, like Emma, you're gonna frame that lineup. It's
To my
you and
understanding, they
and-
needed to sign a player to be able to even play this game. So they resorted to signing a social media manager that had college experience.
You're turning heel so mad. You're the bad guy. You're a villain right now.
I am
Like,
the villain.
You
I don't
are.
care. I don't care.
You're.
They're a professional soccer team, and you're signing a staff to be able to play this game. That's embarrassing.
Oof.
Sorry, it's a great for her, but it's embarrassing for the club, in my opinion.
Victor Von Chiva over here. It's a Dr. Doom joke. Yikes. All right.
I
Just
think national team replacement players, they're given an opportunity to, just get some minutes. I think we saw Cortez last year
Hater.
during the Challenge Cup. Yeah, Haterade, like just chugging that today, Chiva.
No, I mean, there's plenty of other players that you probably.
Well,
could've signed.
there was, and it fell through last second. There's nothing you can do. We spoke to the San Diego Wave player
Again, this
Emma
is why you
Vander
should
Hayden.
have a plan B,
and-
plan C, plan D. And I mean, if this is plan D,
Okay.
then cool.
Okay, this is why Emma's a great. Because you're just saying this as if it just fell out the sky. No. She's trained with the first team before. She's been in this position. Like that, there's been times with past management that she was included in trainings with the first team, and this isn't her first rodeo at it. If it was going to happen and there was everybody's injured and it's her turn, she would have come on and she would have played alongside Alex Morgan. And you know what? Maybe that was the key. Paul Buckle did not see it. The key to unlock Alex Morgan was Emma Vander Hayden. I told her, like, hey, so you're gonna frame that lineup? She's like, no, I'm gonna frame the jersey.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's right.
Mental too, mental.
Yeah, no, 100%. In the NHL, happens all the time. That was one of my favorite stories. I don't know the name, I don't know the team, I don't know who. There was a janitor, not a custodian, a janitor, who was called up to play goalie and did amazing. I think like maybe one player of the game for that game, and you know. It's literally, oi, oh, drummer broke his bloody arm. Is there anybody who can play drums in the audience? And then you're the guy, and you know all the songs. Like, yeah, this guy, and you just rock it.
I get it.
That's exactly what happened.
I get it. But I mean,
sang the national anthem with the kit. Technically a professional soccer player. Cuba.
Yeah, no,
Things I would do.
I get it.
To be in that position. Shout out Emma. Somebody who's getting it done. So the great for the week, Abe, good call there. But with that brings an end to Bulls got some great San Diego Punto Football's iteration. So 2 balls and a mic for the night. Abe, how's the stamina doing? I think it's the first time you're on the entire time. I like that from you.
All right. It's been fun. Talking way too much nerdy stuff, but I don't like to expose myself as a nerd this much. I feel like I never talk about nerdy stuff.
You're a nerd. You're a closeted nerd. Got it.
I guess.
Did you ever play Yu-Gi-Oh?
No.
All right. See, that you're fine. Like, yeah, like you're literally, this wasn't planned, but like
his deck is right.
Like
there.
my deck is literally right here. Like we can. You're in a safe space, Abe. Like it's a very functional deck. It's a counter.
It's a winning deck.
Season's greetings. Thank you for everybody who's joined us tonight. San Diego Punto Football. Abe's going to go ahead and provide some more spy footage for the Canadian national team. You can find everything he does at Abe_Cepeda. Everything at San Diego Punto Football. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give us a follow. Some cool things that are happening down the line. Thank you for everybody who is in the chat. Does a great job of keeping us company. Heel Chiva, you're just being a hater. Haterade. See you guys next time.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.